It's a rolling, not a stop. Watch, don't never stop. This the flow that got the block hot, got super hot. Hey, give me my respect.
So today, I have my buddy Dorian here. Dorian has his own podcast.
I do. It's on SoundCloud. It's called The Catch. So
go ahead and check that out. Today we have the Toronto Raptors facing the OKC Thunder. Dorian here is Toronto. I am OKC. And today we have some topics that we're going to talk to you about. We'll get more into those in a little bit as we go. First of all, nice to have you, Dorian.
Thanks for having me, dude.
Yeah, no problem, man. We plan on getting a different guest every week. We're going to bring them in. We're going to talk about hot topics that are happening in the sports community, whether that's 2K, whether that's Madden, whether that's soccer or baseball, hockey. We're going to be expanding our sports to all of these different types of levels and trying different things. And at the same time, we're going to be talking about what's happening in the specific sport that we're playing. Alright, so we're getting ready to get the game started. We'll see who wins the tip. One of the things we can already address here early is Marc Gasol right there.
Yeah. He's now a Toronto Raptor.
Yep. So Marc Gasol got traded to the Toronto Raptors. They got some pretty good stuff out of it. They got Valanciunas, Dalen Wright, yep, CJ Miles.
Second round pick.
So what are your thoughts on the trade? Who do you think won first off?
I think Toronto won. I think getting a big man down low who can shoot mid range, pass the ball, a veteran, playoff experience, I think it's always good to have. And,
yeah.
And I think Toronto has a really good lineup now. We have Kawhi Leonard, Danny Green, you have Siakam, Lowry. I think they have a very good lineup, Top five is pretty good lineup. So.
For sure. Do you think that bringing in Marc Gasol though is somewhat hurting their bench though, with Dalen Wright and CJ Miles leaving?
Yeah, because like you're losing some shooters like from the bench, but I think to having that experience, he's kind of like Al Horford, like for Boston, guy who can pass the ball, he can shoot mid range, veteran. So yeah, the bench is kind of like it's gone down, but I think having that guy down low though, like it's still good for Toronto.
For sure, I feel you. My personal thought on it, I do think it's a good trade. I think that Toronto did win this, or not Toronto.
Memphis.
I change it. Yep, I say Memphis won the trade. The reason why I say Memphis won the trade is because Marc Gasol, he's an older player. He's like 33, I believe.
He is.
And the Memphis is grabbing those shooters that you were discussing, but also, come on, Kawhi. But also some great bench players.
Yeah.
And, Marc Gasol, he's a great addition for a year run, which I think that's their purpose in getting him, is just for this year.
Like a win now thing.
Yeah. But ultimately, long run, definitely Memphis won this trade. Valanciunas, and he's only like 26 years old.
Yeah. I can't. I'm on the road. I'm trying to shake you.
Yeah, you got some fans out there, man, somewhere. So far, I got the lead 6-4. We're only playing 5-minute quarters. So do you think Toronto could potentially, at the end of the year, stay on top and maybe even come out first?
Oh, definitely. You gotta. I think they already were in line to go to the finals, and now with Marc Gasol, that's even more of a possibility now. But you still have Boston out there with Kawhi Leonard, Kyrie Irving, Tatum. You got Philly with Embiid and them still. I think Toronto definitely is a threat in the Eastern Conference. They definitely get there, definitely. So.
Yeah. I definitely agree with you that Boston.
It's still a threat.
Yeah, they're still a threat. I mean, they could potentially make some moves towards Anthony Davis. I was reading that. Let's go into that topic. Let's talk about Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
So, I honestly thought that the Lakers weren't going to land Anthony Davis. I thought that they were basically giving up their entire team.
Everything except for like LeBron.
They gave up. What were they at the one point? Their offer was they had Lonzo,
Ingram,
they had Rondo, Ingram, Lance Stevenson.
4 first-round picks, I think. 4 or 2 first-round picks.
Crazy amount.
They still said no.
Just how would that work logically, though? I mean, think of it. Pelicans getting 6 players on their team. Like, you can't have that many players on a team. They would have to either trade some away.
Yeah, cut some guys or something like that. Yeah.
That's just no wonder they didn't accept it. That would have just been a giant mess of what's happening.
But it's dumb for LA to give like all their picks and players for like AD. AD is a good player, but great player, but like give up all your assets and then and then for like 2 starters and then a guy on the bench, like that's a lot to give for one player.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, those picks would have been worth it. The picks would have been worth it, but the players that are just turned into a giant mess.
Yeah.
So, where do you think he's going? Oh, we called a timeout. Where do you think he's gonna go?
Well, I think you see how Toronto handled Kawhi Leonard last year. Like they kind of sent him somewhere that he don't want to play. I think the Pelicans are going to send him somewhere where he doesn't want to play, like Charlotte or some random team he don't want to play for. Cause like just kind of spite him, Cause like they don't like him now. Obviously they don't like him anymore. Cause he's trying to say that okay, y'all ain't good enough for me, so he's trying to leave. I think they'll send him somewhere random that none of us see coming. Kind of like Indiana did Paul George to send him to Oklahoma City. I think same thing with AD. I don't know where he's going, but it's going to be somewhere random, somewhere like on the spot that we don't even see coming yet.
Yeah, so you don't think, well, I mean, that's if they're going to trade him.
Yeah.
Now, if they wait it out and this summer he gets to a point, when he picks a team, what team do you think he'll pick to go to?
Like it's Rental or like LA? Like it's Rental or just like, I'd say like probably Boston. Like,
Boston?
I think like they're like they're contending, like they're a part of the team that you can go to and you can contend immediately. But anywhere else, I don't really see him going anywhere else besides that. He said every team is gonna be a rental until he goes to LA. So any team he chooses is gonna be like a 1-year rental if he likes it there. So I say Boston probably.
Okay. Do you still say Boston even if Kyrie Irving leaves?
Now if he leaves, then probably not, because like I think seeing like Kyrie there, I think he'll see that as like okay. You have Irving there, Tatum. I might want to join that team, but like if Kyrie leaves Boston, then I don't see Boston as a place he wants to go to, because then be him like the Pelicans again, just him and role players, and then guys who can kind of score, but no other real stars on that team. But yeah,
Trey Ball. All right. Well, that's really interesting. Going off of that AD point, my opinion on the matter. Ooh, you fouling me, man. You fouling me. My opinion on the matter is I saw something that said he was interested in the Bucks. The Bucks.
Giannis and AD.
Giannis and AD together would be ridiculous. Yeah. It would be ridiculous. The height on that team would be ridiculous.
Yeah. You can never go in the paint.
I think honestly, like it's kind of hush-hush right now. They're not talking too much about him going to the Bucks, but when the summer comes and he gets to pick the team that he goes to, I honestly think he'll go to the Bucks because the Bucks in the East right now are one of the dangerous teams besides Toronto.
Top seed right now,
So I think him going to the Bucks, him going to the Bucks would immediately make an impact and immediately put them in the run to win the championship.
The leading contender,
Exactly. But going back to that Celtics point, I kind of hinted at it, Kyrie Irving possibly not being there. LeBron James actually reached out to Kyrie Irving. Yeah, well, not directly, but in a sense, you know what I mean. What do you think about those two hooking back up together? I saw a post of Stephen A. He was saying that LeBron kind of needs to suck it up and be the mature one in reaching out to Kyrie to get that team back to a contending spot. What are your thoughts on that?
It's kind of funny how Kyrie left Cleveland to get his own team, and now he's trying to go back with LeBron.
Yeah.
Plus, like, they're rivals. Like, LA is Boston rivals, so I think if he goes to LA, like, that's gonna make Boston hate Kyrie, because like, first of all, you came here to lead us, and you're gonna bounce after like 3 years, and then go to our rival with the LA. Like, I would not like Kyrie at all. As a Boston fan, I would not like that at all.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately though, Kyrie's getting at that point in his career, kind of like where KD was, where he's gonna go somewhere where he needs to get a ring.
Yeah. He's going already, but like, I don't see him leading Boston to a final.
See, I feel like Boston, they have the potential.
Yeah, they do.
To get a championship, but every year just falls through.
Yeah.
Ooh, oh, come on, get him.
It's just funny to see him like join LeBron after just leaving LeBron because he won his own team, and now he's kind of actually I need help again. So.
Well, if Kyrie gets to pick a team, I don't think he would go. I can't say anything honestly because he's pretty unpredictable and he's obviously shown that. Oh, come on.
Yeah.
He's shown that he's interested in playing with LeBron again. He's shown remorse for leaving LeBron. So I couldn't say that he wouldn't go to LA, but I would hope that New York is still in the favor for him.
Yeah, definitely. I saw him too as a spot that he can go to.
After this year, New York with the low pick or with their low record, they're going to have a nice pick in the draft. They possibly could get Zion Williamson. That's what everyone's talking about. If they get Zion Williamson, they have Kyrie come over in the offseason or through trade, who knows. But they also have Anthony Davis considering him.
They could get Durant too, KD.
Yeah, possibly.
So.
Durant's over in Golden State. We know how well that's been working.
Yeah.
I mean, it's potential that within the next 2 or 3 years, the Knicks could be a new runner.
Yeah, for real. After being like just at the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah,
like
so I'm pretty sure it's been since 2012 since they've been in the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. But they're making good moves right now. They're making strides to go in a better direction. So far through the second quarter, we have a pretty low-scoring game. 14-11. It's actually pretty hard talking and playing the game.
Take a bad shot. Can't even focus on my shots because like I'm talking.
Got like two shot clock violations already. That's funny.
I didn't even notice the second one.
All right. Moving forward, another topic that we need to discuss is this Tobias Harris trade. Tobias Harris went to 76ers.
Yeah.
I honestly think him over at the 76ers, what did they get for him? They got little to nothing, the Clippers.
They really did. Got little to nothing.
Oh, that's a bad. Oh, come on.
You can't even play inside. He's like, that's a...
Yeah, so the Clippers got little to nothing to get Tobias Harris over there.
Yeah.
Tobias Harris is a great addition.
Great shooter.
They didn't have a strong power forward position. Now they have, what's their starting lineup now? They have
now like Simmons, I think Redick. You have Butler there, Tobias Harris, and then Embiid at the center. So
their entire starting five could all
be all-stars.
They could all potentially be all-stars, yes, with the exception of Tobias Harris to a degree, and then JJ Redick, of course. But that's just nuts. Their team right now is nuts.
They've loaded up a lot. Like because they're trying to chase like a Boston or Milwaukee or Golden State. So like they're showing that like with 2 additions this year, Butler and then Harris. Like that whole lineup it's just a death lineup. It's literally a death lineup. Like Golden State has, it's like a death lineup. Like it's just crazy.
Yeah, I mean it's sick right now. And the only reason now we're gonna talk about this Markelle Fultz trade as well. Him going to Magic. I honestly feel the only reason why they traded him to the Magic is because they picked up Tobias Harris, which solidifies Ben Simmons at the point guard position.
Yeah.
What do you think he's going to do over at the Magic? You think he's going to have much of an impact?
If he plays well, like, that's going to make it funny. Because they drafted him first overall.
Yeah.
He's played like crap since coming to the NBA, and then if he goes to the Magic and plays great, like that just be just a slap in the face to Philly. But like he hasn't played good at all, so like you gotta get rid of him. Even though it's your first pick in the draft, you gotta get rid of him. He's done nothing. Like he can't make layups, can't make foul shots. It's like that's just not a guy you want on your team.
I don't know though. He's had what, a year, 2 years in the NBA? Like you can't just throw off your first overall pick like that, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think it was a good idea to do that so soon in his career. I know he's been plagued with injuries. He's had like shoulder problems and back problems, but I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like
bad, man. It's time to go.
Like you taking him first overall is you showing an investment in him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when you give up that investment, when you give up like. You take someone first overall because you know that they're going to be great.
Yeah.
You know for a fact that they're going to be able to add to your team.
He was great. Scoring, at will.
I mean, why would they trade him?
Because he can't make layups in the NBA. so that's why he got rid of him. But damn, like having that first pick and now he's on your team after 2 years, it's like that's definitely a waste of time, a waste of a pick.
Well, overall, I think that 76ers this trade deadline had definitely made some moves to improve their team.
They loaded up.
I think definitely. Oh, come on, get him back. 3-pointer. Can't make the threes, man.
Yeah, bro, like they ain't got no excuses now. Philly, they have no excuses. Like with all these guys on their lineup, they have no excuses not to get to the finals.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a tough East. Whenever LeBron left, everyone assumed, like, oh, this East
isn't
going to be tough.
the window's open for anybody, even Indiana.
It's just, you have the Bucks, obviously. You now have the 76ers in a strong contendership. I honestly think that the New York Knicks, they're obviously not going to the playoffs, but give it a couple years. Give it a couple years with Dennis Smith Jr. DeAndre Jordan's pretty old, but he can still help.
Got Kevin Knox, too, from Kentucky.
Kevin Knox, exactly, and them getting Zion Williamson would definitely help. I think that the Knicks are going to be up and coming here soon. You still obviously have Toronto Raptors.
Yeah.
The East is going to be pretty competitive.
It's not as easy as people think it is. Like LeBron leaving, like, oh, the window's open for anybody. Anybody can get to the finals. No, it's still got Giannis, got guys like Kyrie there. Still like guys who can get to the finals themselves if they wanted to. But you know,
talking about LeBron, let's go ahead and switch to this subject. How do you think that the Lakers are handling, like the team itself?
Mm-hmm.
How do you think that they're handling this whole situation where none of them are safe besides LeBron?
Well, like, you know, I think LeBron, he knew it'd be a process. He knew it'd take time for them to be contenders. I think going there, you know, seeing Lonzo, seeing them there, kind of last year they were like an 11 seed without LeBron. I think he knew it wouldn't be easy, but I don't think he see them like being like, you know, I think they had a game like recently against Indiana where they lost by 42. I think that right there just shows you that they need to make changes. But I don't know right now. I think they're in a tough position because like they wanted AD, but obviously the Pelicans said no to both their trade deals. So
yeah.
Right now, like they kind of just stuck in limbo for about a year until offseason comes.
Well, we've now reached halftime.
As heck.
We've talked about a lot.
Yeah.
Definitely already talked about a lot. Still going off LeBron James. I feel that the team right now is super divided.
Yeah.
No one has job security besides LeBron
Especially
James.
head coach Luke Walton, also hot seat.
Yeah, I mean that whole front office of the Lakers, believe it or not, is messing up. They're bringing in a lot of good players. They brought in good players in the offseason to try and support LeBron. But by them showing their effort to go after Anthony Davis, I feel like is definitely hurting team chemistry.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be a player who, you know, any day if someone just
just
accepts that trade, you're gone. But we've now reached halftime. During the halftime of my videos, whether it be Madden or 2K or NHL or anything like that, I have specific things I want to discuss during the halftime show. So the first thing we are going to discuss, since we're playing 2K, we're talking about NBA, I want to discuss your all-time top 5 players.
My top 5 players or just...
Yep, if you had to make a team with 5 players, who would it be?
Okay, point guard, Matthew Johnson. He's the best point guard of all time. Like that's not even a debate there. To me, it's not a debate. Shooting guard, Michael Jordan, the GOAT, right there at the 2. 3, I take LeBron. I think having that athleticism and that ability just to get to the hole at will, I think that's just unprecedented. And then power forward, I take Tim Duncan. I think he's the best power forward of all time to me. And then center, I take Shaq as the most dominant force to ever play basketball. I think Shaq's my fifth guy. So
that's a great starting 5, man. I couldn't complain with that. I can see your Michael Jordan, and it definitely goes there. But come on, man, you gotta take consideration Kobe, man.
Kobe. He's like second in that shooting guard position all the time. There's Jordan, then Kobe. Like I love Kobe, but like I think he's not better than Jordan. I mean, I'll take MJ. It's close though, but I'll take MJ.
Okay. The second question I have for us is who do you think is gonna win the NBA championship this year?
As of right now, these trades, I still got Golden State. But,
still Golden State?
But if Philly gets there or like a Milwaukee, it won't be like some like sweep or 5-game series. I think Golden State can still win the finals, but I think it'd be a 6-game or 7-game series. I think if they play Philly, it'd be 7-game series. Definitely.
All right. And then my last question. If you could pick any NBA player to date your mother, who would it be?
I'd take Jimmy Butler, man. He's funny. I like him. I like
Butler?
Yeah, he's got personality. Dude. I like him.
I don't know if I'd want Jimmy Butler around my mother. I honestly can't say I'd want her.
He's not that ugly. He's good looking. He's
okay.
He's good looking. I'm just being honest, man.
Hey, you hear that, Jimmy Butler?
Yeah, but she's taken. But if she gets a divorce though, like you know.
All right. Fair enough. So we're starting the second half.
I got 19 points.
About 15 points in, or 15 seconds in. I'm sorry.
I got about 15 points.
We got 23-19. I'm up right now.
I ain't got no.
Guys, believe it or not, it's very hard to talk.
I ain't got no space. I can't even drive.
Oh, that's a foul. Yes, sir. Westbrook. Believe it or not, it's very hard to talk in 2K at the same time.
Probably easy, but it's definitely not. I can't even concentrate on like a guy who's dribbling. Like
we're under distress. Oh,
Westbrook shooting up bricks. That should go in. Nope. All right, dating ring. That's not going in. That's a basic mid range.
So let's switch topics. Let's go ahead and get something forward. I want to talk about Harrison Barnes.
Mm.
Harrison Barnes got traded.
Disrespect.
He got traded in the middle of his game.
Just disrespected.
This man was on the bench and got traded.
He was playing
Found
hard.
out. I don't understand that. Being in the front office, your team has a game that day, and you're still discussing
like trades.
Like, at least wait till after, man.
It showed his face after during it showed his face like when he found out, and he looked so like out of it after that. He just looked so out of it. It's like what the. It's just so like disrespectful. Like in the middle of he's playing hard too, busting his butt out there, and like he just gets traded mid game like that. It's just like
yeah, I don't understand that being front. That shows. And LeBron James, all these stars, Anthony Davis, they've had their oh come on, oh Westbrook takes it all the way.
Damn, that's a lazy ass pass from me. That's a lazy pass.
But AD, LeBron James, they voiced their opinions on it, and they basically say it's a dog-eat-dog world when it comes to NBA.
Yeah.
And being front management, you're not being a good example on your players, on your fans.
Yeah.
It shows how much you truly care if you're willing to trade a player while he's literally on the bench playing for you.
Yeah, like they must have hated him or something just to trade him that fast mid game. I couldn't even wait to post game. It's like you can't wait to the locker room or something.
Yeah, I don't understand it. But looking past the morality of the subject, do you think it was a good trade? They got Zeba and they got Justin Jackson for him.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it was a good trade on their
I
end?
think it's good to add some young talent and a veteran there because they got Porzingis now. I think having some older guys there, veterans who know how to play come playoff time. I think having that with Doncic and Porzingis is good to have. Like those veterans, like Zach Randolph, he's definitely a veteran. He's been in the league forever. He's been in so many playoff series with Memphis. I think it's very good to have him. So.
Yeah, and judging, going through that point to a degree, Harrison Barnes, he wouldn't really fit in with Luka Doncic at that 3 because they're both 3 players. I mean, you could probably put Luka Doncic at the 2, but he's 6'7". I don't know if he's quite quick enough to stay with some of the 2s in the league.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's kind of a conflict right there of having one of them come off the bench.
Yeah.
I think that over with the Kings that they're gonna definitely use Harrison Barnes a lot more.
Yeah.
And then also they give Justin Jackson, who's a relatively young player,
some playing time. Some more playing time.
Yeah, he'll be a decent backup.
Yeah.
But man, that's still fried.
I think Harrison Barnes is gonna be like probably the Kings primary scorer or one of them at least. Probably the primary scorer.
Ooh, I don't know about that. They got De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah, but I think
they have Bagley.
Yeah. But I think Barnes being there can score about 18 points a game. I think that's good to have from that at the small forward position.
Okay. Whenever Bagley was initially getting drafted, I thought that maybe a team would want to move him down to the 3 spot.
Yeah. To
try and kind of counter these other 6'10" guard or 6'10" small forwards like Giannis, like Kevin Durant. Like Ben Simmons to a degree, even though he's playing point guard, which is ridiculous.
6'10".
At point guard, that's like he's like a Magic Johnson.
Yeah, he literally
basically.
is like modern day Magic Johnson. That's what he is.
But I thought that they would move Bagley. He's quick enough to guard a 3.
Yeah.
I forget where I saw it, but they actually said that in a press conference that De'Aaron Fox and Bagley are going to be the next Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook.
Dang, that's a stretch. But I can see it, but that's a stretch though. Man.
What do you think? Do you think they're going to be able to sink in, I guess is the word, for that team chemistry and like have that connection? Even though towards the end of their reign over in OKC,
it didn't end well.
Kevin Durant and
kind of built on Russ.
Yeah. Do you think they'll be able to kind of duplicate the earlier days of the Thunder whenever they made it to the finals?
Well, I don't think Fox is as strong as Russ was, but I think his like speed and like ability to drive to the basket is definitely like Russ. But I think Bagley, I don't think Bagley is as good as a shooter as KD was. So I'm not sure he'd be Kevin Durant like. But we'll see. They're 2 young players, can drive, athletic. Can score at will if they wanted to. So I can see it.
Okay. I have Westbrook in this game. What do you think about Westbrook and Paul George? Do you think Westbrook Paul George is a better combination than Westbrook KD?
That's a tough one because they got to the finals with KD and Russ, but. I think last year having Melo there was kind of messing up the chemistry. I think since he's gone, now it's just kind of Russ and Paul George's kind of team. I think is working out a lot more. And plus getting Dennis Schroeder off the bench has made things easier. But I think Paul George and Russ definitely work out better than KD and Russ. You know, because I think KD wanted more like his team. When he kind of wanted to be his team, I think Paul George is kind of like he knows his Russ team. I think he's kind of playing his second role. I think so. It should work out a little better than Russ and KD did. So.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. I feel like Paul George and Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
Paul George has a respect
Yeah.
that it's Russell Westbrook's team.
Durant didn't have that, so.
Yeah, Durant and Westbrook, they constantly, battled on whose team it was.
Yeah.
I feel like Paul George.
He knows his role. So like.
Exactly. Man, it's a close game.
Yeah, 11-point game, man. Fourth quarter, I got 25 points through 3 quarters.
Yeah, it's definitely been a struggle. It's struggle bus. I feel like the defense in 2K, though, gets really intense.
Yeah.
Assist of the game, that's me. Aw, come on. They didn't even show it.
Showing Russ taking a shot, didn't show the ball, though.
Schroeder bringing up the ball.
I've never had 25 points through 3 quarters like this. I've had at least like 40. My alley-oops to Steven Adams.
Oh, yeah, Steven Adams getting big.
Probably like the manliest guy in basketball, Steven Adams. Just manly as heck.
All right, so Dorian, what's your favorite NBA team? I'm assuming the Pacers.
Pacers. I mean,
Pacers.
I'm from Indianapolis, so like Pacers definitely. I'm wearing it right now. So it's my jersey.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the Pacers then. Where do you think the Pacers are going to be when it comes to the playoffs this year?
Well, I think starting out like I think we're like a 3rd seed Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
We had a chance to be like great, going in. Like we were just playing great basketball. And Depot goes down, and now we kind of been falling. So I think same thing like 5th seed now. I think we'll probably get the playoffs, probably lose first round. I think having Depot, I think we probably get the second round. But not having him on the team now, I think we'll probably be first round exit. I think sadly, first round exit probably by like a Philly or something like that. It's just tough to see us kind of like lose now without Depot, but it's tough.
Now, you do know that the Pacers picked up Wes Matthews today, right?
They did, and they also got Nick Stauskas, and then I think a second round pick from Houston. I think, yeah.
Do you think that Stauskas and Matthews are going to be able to make an impact that possibly help us?
I think having some shooters and scorers is always good to have, and Matthews and Stauskas can definitely shoot and score. But I think having a guy that can score, like by himself, like on his own, I think we still need that. I think Matthews can score on his own. But of course, not as well as Oladipo could. But like, it definitely gonna help us. Having shooters and scorers in this NBA is definitely a help. So, yeah.
Okay, I mean, I feel like Tyreke Evans, like everyone's saying, oh well, now he needs to pick up the load. He's gonna have to fill in. Obviously, we know that Victor Oladipo is irreplaceable.
Yeah.
He's he was defensive or he was on all defense second team or first team last year.
Yeah.
So his defense is miraculous. He's obviously the go-to guy when it comes to scoring for the Pacers. And Tyreke Evans is a 28-year-old shooting guard / small forward who can dribble really well. He can shoot too. He can get to the basket, but his defense is not as well at all.
He's not very physical.
Really, where it comes down to, in my opinion, I think that the Pacers are going to lack in that defensive aspect. You know, that on guard.
Yeah. It's already showed.
Yeah, on ball defense. But ultimately, I feel like they're scoring.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll take that big of a hit. I think they can still run the same type of offense.
They got Miles Turner,
still
Sabonis
score.
off the bench. So.
They've added these shooters, as we've already said. I don't know. It kind of in this day and age, the NBA is all about offense. Don't get me wrong. Playing like Toronto, playing like the Bucks, but we wouldn't see them until later in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So like these beginning teams that we might see, I don't think that defense will be that important.
Yeah.
To say. So I think that the Pacers could possibly make a run, maybe to the second round.
Second round. At most, second round.
With Oladipo, I don't know. They beat the Celtics already in the regular season.
They did.
I feel like they potentially could beat a now 76ers if they pull together as a team, because that's what the whole Pacer community, like the Pacer game plan is. The Pacers have all this cap space, but they don't like going out after players in the free agency.
Yeah, we don't.
They like to draft these players. They like to have these homegrown NBA players and then sign them on big deals that make them stay there for a while.
Yeah, like they drafted Danny Granger, drafted Lance, drafted Paul George, drafted all these other guys, but they haven't really had any signing any like big time like guys from free agency. They haven't done it at all.
I mean,
really.
the only person that comes to mind is Victor Oladipo.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Victor Oladipo just came through
a trade.
Yeah, he came through a trade.
So yeah.
I think the Pacers, they have all this cap space. I honestly think it might be time for a change and to use that money to go out after. I mean, like, why aren't the Pacers making moves towards Anthony Davis?
Yeah, I know.
Like, don't get me wrong. I love Sabonis. I love Miles Turner.
Yeah.
But they're obviously not all-stars.
Yeah.
They're, good starters, but they're not a dominant player.
Yeah, no way. Yeah.
I don't see why the Pacers aren't going after one of these big off-season go-tos, like Kyrie Irving. If Kyrie Irving's considering going to New York, I mean, don't get me wrong, New York has a great setting.
But still, like, they're like a bad franchise.
Yeah, like, they have no one on their team, really. And I mean,
they have nobody with, except for Kevin Knox. He's a rookie, though. So, like...
Yeah. I don't see why the Pacers don't go after someone. They have the cap space to do it. They could definitely use players to push them past those other opposing teams. If the Pacers did go after someone, though, so, we have Kyrie Irving. I think Jimmy Butler's contract's up this year, but they're probably going to re-sign him over there. Yeah. But not taking into consideration anyone re-signing. Just thinking of anyone whose contract's up or anyone who's shown interest in trading. Who do you think the Pacers would benefit most from?
Benefit most from? I'd say probably a Kyrie, a guy who can score, on his own, clutch, got playoff experience, he's got a ring. I think having that with like it's a bonus. Miles Turner, having that would be great for a Kyrie Irving guy because they have people who can score on his own too. But other than that, all of the guys on the Pacers are guys who score like in a system. I think having a guy like Kyrie can score on his own is good to have at point guard position.
Okay, well, duly noted. I feel that Kyrie Irving in the Pacers system, I don't think he actually would fit.
You wouldn't fit?
His defense. I mean, the Pacers is a homegrown, gritty, get the rebounds, play the defense, get to the basket type of, game plan. I don't feel like Kyrie Irving's more of an ISO player.
He is.
The player that I would go after would probably, I'm not just saying this because he's been the topic of our whole discussion, but I think Anthony Davis for the Pacers would be amazing because where do we mostly lack? We lack whenever we have to guard these big-time players. We let them get to the paint really easy. I think that's where we struggle most is the interior defense. I mean, Miles Turner's good, but he's no Anthony Davis, obviously. So I personally would go after Anthony Davis.
Yeah. Yeah, that would help. Yeah, of course, that would help a lot. Down low, interior guy can score from the three and score down low, AD.
All right, so we've reached the end of our game. Final score is 52-35. It was a great game. It was great talking to you, man.
At the end.
Yeah, it did. I started to take off a little bit. But
some contested threes.
Nonetheless, it was a great game. You couldn't guard Paul George, man.
I couldn't. I tried to talk and guard him, but just can't do it at the same time. Just can't.
Yeah, it's a little difficult trying to do this, isn't it? Well, it's been great talking to you. We talked about a lot of key things.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you got to say to the video, man?
Podcast, The Catch on SoundCloud. Check that out. I posted some today, so check that out.
So go ahead and go check out his podcast. What's the name of that?
The Catch.
The Catch.
Yeah.
Go ahead and go check out his podcast, The Catch.
Yeah.
Tune in next Thursday. We'll be doing the same thing. I'm going to find another guest speaker to come in and play some video games with me while talking about real life things. Please subscribe. Please share this video to your friends, family, whoever may care. Try and get this stretched around. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for supporting. You are my biggest fans. I am your biggest fans. Mwah.
Rolling not a stop, watch, don't never stop. This the flow that got the block hot.